Okay, I had a post by Jay Fox who said, you know, take the head off, take out the piston, clean up the ports, put on some new rings, and I guarantee it will start. And I'm taking this challenge. I think it's a good idea too. So I was hoping to be able to take off the bottom plate without a problem, but they are Phillips screws. So I think we got to pop the engine out, which means we got to take off this cover. Can probably slip it through the belt over here and take off, unbolt this, and then we'll be able to slide it out. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, 4 bolt screws. This side is off. This is what we got here. So looks like we're going to take those 4 off in there. And oh, this is going to be one of those that you can't pull a pulley through. Shit. Because the hole's not big enough. Okay, we hit that with a little bit of heat, and we used the impact and a couple of pounds after the heat, and it came loose. So we have to pound on that pulley a little bit, but we'll see what we get. I got a wheel puller on the pulley. See if we can get it off. It's a real crappy one, so. Alright, this is not ideal, but that pulley was a bugger. It wasn't really coming off, so I took off the 4 nuts. And I took off the assembly on this side where it was mounted. And we can tip the engine, and we can now get at the bolts at the bottom. So like I said, it's not ideal, but it'll work. So we're gonna do it. So it was dripping a little bit of gas out of the breather there. So I decided to take off the bowl and get the what was left of the gas out of it. And this is what came out. Now, I don't know, that looks like a lot of water in there, which it did not have before. So I don't know how it got in there. The gas is probably bad. It doesn't even look like gas. I mean, it doesn't have any blue oil to it. And the bowl, which was pretty clean before, has this gray sediment. So I'm wondering if some of this washed back from the cylinder into the carb, down into the bowl. Is that possible? I guess it is. Anyway. There are 4 Torx screws that hold the bottom plate on, and they came off pretty easily, so I'm going to pop that off and see how it looks, and take the head off too. Okay, we got the bottom plate off without destroying the gasket, which is pretty good, and I'm pleased to see that there's no chunks of metal or anything down here. Just some water, once again, oily water, and I don't feel any filings or anything in there, so that's good too. So we'll pop off the head. And how do you get this sucker out of here? I'm gonna have to get some light on that. I can't really tell what's going on in there. Okay, so I got the first one of these out. Bolts that hold the connecting rod, screws that hold the connecting rod, and I used a 3/16 socket. I was going, what the hell are these things? They look terrible. And then I realized they're Torx sockets or star sockets. So yeah, I didn't have any, so ran out to a Home Depot and got some. So this other one wasn't coming out with the 3/16, so I had to get the socket. So we should be able to get it out now, so I'll pop that off. Oh, I might note, I think all the needle bearings are probably just going to fall out of it, which is going to be a delight. Okay, so I'm at the bottom of the stroke right now, and you can see there's a pile of needle bearings there, and a few more coming out because I'm tapping the connecting rod up so that they fall here. You can see them there. It's going to be a blast trying to get them back on, Probably just grease it up and stick them in the grease. I don't know. I guarantee I'll be pulling my hair out on that one. Okay, I want to try to get them all out of here before I pull out the piston the other way, because I don't want one to drop on the ground. I think they said that there's 36. I read in a manual of an older one of these. And I guess we'll find out. Hopefully we didn't lose any. Alright, so I put this fiberglass rod in there and tap the piston. Yeah, a little more resistance than I would have liked. And here it is. Let's have a look at the ugly thing. Yeah, there's some nastiness right there. Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. See, something bad happened there. That's for sure. God, I don't want to buy a new piston for it. We're going to clean this up. Now let's look down in the port and we'll see how messed up the cylinder and the port and see how bad it is. Okay, that cylinder looks pretty nasty. I don't know. The camera might be able to see it better than me. But there's some buildup on the wall there, and there's definitely some scoring. I have a hone. I'm not quite sure if it'll fit in there or not, if it's small enough to fit in there. But I think it probably will. But I might post this video now, and maybe Jay Fox will post again, and I can get his opinion on it since he's worked on these a bunch to see if it's worth it or if it's not. Okay, I popped the rings out of it. The bottom one was intact, but I broke it taking it out. And the top one, where this is, it looks like that's where the gap was, and that's where the piece broke off. Now, this piston to me looks in pretty nasty shape. I don't know if it could be reused after it's cleaned up or not. Okay, another thing is, on the connecting rod down here, I found this kind of, I guess it's what the needle bearings run on. I don't know what you'd call that thing, maybe another bearing, I don't know. Bushing, whatever, but there's not one at the bottom. And I definitely didn't lose it, because it's nowhere around. It's not stuck on the connecting rod. So, gotta look at the parts manual and see if maybe I can find a new used piston and ring, or just forget about it. I don't know.